What's good, worshipers? There's a lot to discuss. This whole video is pretty important. Please check it out. Share it with people. Make sure that other people around you on the teams have gotten a hold of it. Well, there's the video from last March, about a year ago. And if you haven't seen that, it's going to be in the description here. There's a lot of stuff that's predicated on that idea. So if you're not familiar with what's been going on, you might want to check that out. There is the big thing coming up this Sunday is the budget, affirming the new budget. If you're not aware, the reality is that at Table Mountain, for at least a year, for a while now, our budget has been very much in the red. We've been dipping into the savings. We're blessed on the months when we don't need to dip into the savings. But we budgeted for a certain number of RV renters that we just never got to. And that was pretty new in Table Mountain history. For the longest time, Evraz, the steel mill in Pueblo, would have contract workers come through. And so we'd have lulls, but it was never this long or this much. It's pretty unprecedented. And so we've been dipping into the savings so much that it would be unwise to continue to operate the way we've been operating without making some changes. So there's lots of programs that are getting just budget cuts throughout. And so the latest plan for me with worship is to see who of my supporters will stay on past Easter, because my support is supposed to end Easter of 25, to see how much of that support I can keep on. The church will pay $2,000 a month, but no more than that. They won't kick in the extra when the support wanes. So I'm going to try and get a part-time job to supplement that. So I'm in the process of applying for work. And the elders and the staff, everybody's aware that my ideal scenario is to find a job that keeps me doing this at Table Mountain. My second tier for jobs would be something that keeps me in Rye, Colorado, and able to attend Table Mountain. And then, so that would be commutable stuff to Pueblo or Walsenburg, or just something I could reach from here remote. And then after that, just do what I got to do to actually survive. If we have to move, we got to move. But there's a lot of uncertainty. So pray that, honestly, the main thing that is stressing me out right now is just, what is that job? What does it look like? And it's a time suck. Bolstering support, adding to support, getting a job, all those things take time. And I just want to get back to worshiping, or whatever the next thing is God has in mind for me. Honestly, I remember a moment during a pretty hard elders meeting where I was praying with the elders, and I just realized I was holding on to it, and I had to let it go. I was holding on to the idea of staying at Table Mountain and things being as they've been. And it's like, you know what? Like Abraham, I'll pick up my tent. Wherever you want me to go, I'll go. I'll do what you want me to do. I still hope that I get to stay here, but I just, I've let go spiritually and made peace with that. But I just want to get on to the next stuff and not be messing with support and job applications and things that to me are kind of a sidetrack. So that's kind of the new plan going forward with the budget. There's a lot of uncertainty, so pray into just the months ahead. The other big thing I want to talk about for a while now is the new Simple Church model. I just want the team to understand that Shane, myself, staff, we all recognize that worship team is a small group, right? I don't want you guys to feel like Simple Church means adding all these things into what the worship team's already doing. You're already in a small group. Worship to me, in general, when I serve God, I go to, Mexico and build a roof or something, and I'm blessed, right? And there's this kind of first world, third world feeling like, well, I'm going to help out the third world, and they're the ones that are going to receive the blessing. But the way God works is it's a two-way street, and they are blessed to get their roof done, but I'm blessed to serve and be spiritually filled by that. And I feel the same about worship team, that it's definitely a thing I do to bless the community, but I'm also blessed in doing it. So to me, it is a service. It is a small group. You're already doing the Simple Church model is what I'm getting at. I don't want you to feel like you need to add things to it. Now, if God's calling you to participate in the small groups or start serving more elsewhere, then great, by all means do that. I just don't want you to feel like you're not fulfilling the ideal simple church model already, because you already are. We do have a pretty big epidemic of declines in Planning Center. Remember, at the end of each month, it's the signature in my email. It's been extremely communicated to do your blockout dates. Declines are supposed to be for things that are not foreseeable. I got sick. Some people's work doesn't tell them their schedule that far out. Okay, that makes sense. Then you have to decline. But for those of us who can, there's lots of things we can block out by the end of, we're in March right now. So by March, so let's use February. So by February 28th, you should have blocked out April. What you know you can't do in April, you blocked that out, so that around this time we can solve this big puzzle of who does what, when, and where for the month of April, and then send that out in early March so people have a couple weeks heads up on what they're going to do and when. I do want to do another party, another all-team gathering. That would be really awesome. I like hosting it. It's fun, but I think it'd be really cool if we had a different venue. So if you're thinking about having the team over to your place, I think it'd be fun to do a new venue. Generally, the church buys meat. I cook that. I cook some beans, and then we do the rest potluck. So hosting is pretty much just letting people know what they can bring. Our repertoire is finally pretty much set. We have the songs that we want to run till about midsummer, and then around midsummer we'll probably trim 3 to 5 of them, add 3 to 5 in, and do that each year. But we're finally out of the whole like learning songs thing. So also we're going into a seasonal time, which is Easter. Easter is April 20th. So from April 1st through the 20th, every Sunday we can have seasonal things that are not in the repertoire, as long as they fit that whole thing, right? Holy Week, Good Friday, Easter stuff. That'd be really cool to throw that in. Then we're also going to try starting a new booth rotation where we have some key people who I'm raising up in the booth. Jake's always been skilled. Ellie's now skilled. I'm going to build into Heather so that what we can do is have some people basically float between front of house and back of house. So like Jake, for example, once a month will be back of house, and every other date that he's not blocked out or available and scheduled will all be front of house, and I'll do the same. The idea being that I've basically been stuck in the booth for too long, and I think it's just better if I can get back to front of house more. So we'll kind of have a few people that rotate through the booth because I was spinning my wheels recruiting. But if you think of anybody who would be a good fit in the booth or in general with worship, invite them into a rehearsal, because my mentors both gave me this advice. They were right, actually, is that they were like, the reason your recruiting isn't working is because you're the one doing it. You need to get other people recruiting into your ministry for you. And they were like, I don't know why it works that way, but that's how it works. And they were super right. Everybody that I was like, man, you should come try this out, all just dropped off entirely. But anybody that somebody else was like, yo, you should come to rehearsal with me, that's what's working. So if you think of anybody, hope you guys are well. Talk to you soon. Much love. Late.